So, again, today's interview, it was honestly a really nice interview. I enjoyed this conversation that I had with Tyler, um, talking about Dungeons and Dragons, the campaign that they lead in Dungeons and Drafts, their event. They hold it at Seventh Tap mostly, in a pub scene where you can get a nice drink, and then you can join a table with a person leading a story and learn how to play Dungeons and Dragons. Or if you're experienced, you can go there, bring your own character, get it cleared by them, of course, and then play the game with a bunch of people in a nice environment and make new friends along the way, and get to go on an epic adventure. It's a great alternative, to video games. If you don't like to be alone a lot but you want to hang out with actual people, this is a great way to do it. All right, so enjoy the video and have I'll see you after where we can close everything off. Hello, I'm Brittney Hazelton, and this is ArkLaTex Artistry, where we explore the arts in our area. Today, we have a representative of a role play group who's been doing tabletop role plays at Seventh Tap Brewery. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Tyler Crow. I'm the organizer of the monthly Dungeons and Drafts events at the Seven Tap Brewery.
All right, so go ahead and tell us give us a summary of your events.
Yeah, so once a month, we get a group of nerds together for a big old bash. We do multi-table events with interaction between them, and that interaction can change depending on the event, depending on what's happening in the story. Sometimes tables are competing against each other, sometimes they're working together. Um,
Oh,
it's a lot of fun. We really try to play with the medium and just really kind of make it our own thing. Because we have all those people, all those minds coming together. Um, we try to see what we can do with it and just constantly kind of innovate on that.
that's great. I had I knew that you guys ran multiple tables, and I didn't know that the tables would interact as well. I think that's really cool. So are they like parties on each table kind of interacting?
Yeah, so we do tables of 6 players. Any more than that, and it gets pretty unwieldy.
Yeah.
But the theme of it is that everybody's kind of part of the same guild. We call it the Lamplighters Guild.
Okay.
And sometimes different factions of this guild will work against each other. Most of the time, they're working together, though. And
Okay.
most of the time, it is a big kind of collaborative effort between the whole room at once, between, 40 to 60 players.
Well, that's great. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear you guys have that kind of turnout. We had previously discussed before this interview about how you weren't sure if Shreveport, was the kind of community would be able to do something like this.
I've really been blown away by the response. This I had been approached by the owner of Seven Tap Brewery because he knew I had some experience with professional DMing. I'd gotten back involved with it all the way in COVID.
Hmm.
He knew about my company and stuff, and so he was like, could you run live D&D events for us? And I was like, maybe, we'll see. Like, we'll see what happens. And so, I put out the call, I got the DMs together. We started, hashing out what we were going to do with it. And I think it was no later than 2 months later, we had our first event. And that one actually sold out 2 weeks before the event.
Wow,
I
that's
think
impressive.
they said like that is not usually happen with events. Most of the time people are getting them that week or like day of, but I think it was the right time. I think people were ready.
Well, with tabletop games like that, it's sometimes hard to find groups, and I think people, especially, are just wanting a group, and
Absolutely.
they see this event. It's like, hey, this is a chance for me to get involved with and maybe have a group to role play with. So.
Yeah, and that's one thing we try to provide. Dungeons and Dragons for me, I've been playing since I was 18 years old. So I'm 34, so that's 14 years. And it has always been this safe space, where you can be creative, with your friends, or with
Mm-hmm.
new friends, and you can face challenges together, in that space, and you really leave with something,
Mm.
and it's really cool to invite other people, that I think I think every DM really secretly wants that. They want as many people playing in their games as possible. And so this is really a way to facilitate that. All of our DMs, that's where we really get the joy out of it, is bringing new people in,
Mm-hmm.
seeing them make friends, seeing them, relying on each other in the heat of battle, when they just met, an hour ago. Um, but there really is something special about it.
So tell me a little bit about how you come up with your story adventures, because I feel like my personal opinion is that DMing and it's basically an art itself, and that's why I'm bringing you here. So tell me, how do you come up with your story adventures? Like, how did you plan the first one?
So we basically, that is kind of expanding as we go. The first one came out of really thinking, what would be what would be interesting kind of in this space, right? Because I wanted to create a kind of unique campaign that would work well for veteran players, people that know D&D really well, but also for newer people, maybe people that hadn't considered playing before.
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing I did is I chose the setting Eberron, written by Keith Baker,
Mm-hmm.
back in like 2006 for D&D Fourth Edition. They recently brought it over to Fifth Edition.
Oh, okay,
Um,
cool.
I chose that, and then moving forward from that was kind of this natural evolution of like what would be the biggest bang to start out with. And so our first one was actually like a train heist. The Lamplighters Guild had called new recruits. They needed some new sell swords and spell slingers to help them out with a job. And so all the players actually robbed a corrupt noble,
Oh.
and like had to sneak onto his train, and move throughout the train, collaborating with each other. Bombs went off. Unfortunately, we lost some noble heroes.
Oh.
But their sacrifice was not in vain, as that corrupt noble was brought down. Um, Really, what I what I kind of base it on is what I think would be fun to play. What I would
Mm-hmm.
want to play at a brewery. You know, um,
Yeah.
Not every type of game I feel like would work in this setting or work with this type of event. And so I try to create that balance of, it's still your classic D&D, but it's got a little twist to it. It's got a little something different going on.
Okay, so what version of D&D are y'all using?
We do play fifth edition.
Fifth edition. Okay. I was just wanted to clarify. Uh
Mhm.
so so this is the Eberron you said was the era as the D&D. That's cool. So I don't really need to ask you about the world. Do you have any like specific elements that you kind of customize or added to the world itself? Like the
Yes.
Starlight Guild.
So our actual campaign is completely original.
Okay.
The setting we're playing on is Eberron, but we will be riffing with some of the themes and things going on there. Um, I can't give too much yet on our
I
actual
understand.
campaign,
I get it. You don't want to ruin
um,
it for people.
but it will involve uh, themes people are familiar with, the multiverse, um,
Oh,
uh, war, uh,
so a very epic tale.
yes, humanity versus nature, all those good things.
That's awesome. Do you have different like races and stuff, or is it mostly just humans in this in your role play?
So the cool thing about Eberron is its diversity of races. Eberron by default, 5E's done some good work to kind of divorce races from stats and things like that recently, but Eberron was already doing that.
Okay.
Eberron, goblins are part of society. So are orcs. You can really be anything in Everon, and you can really fill any kind of role. And that's one of the most interesting things about it.
That's awesome. So, can you tell us how someone who's never played can join your event, and how is it beginner friendly?
Yeah. So cool thing about our events. Normally, for to join a Dungeons and Dragons game, the first thing your DM does is make you do a whole lot of homework.
Mm-hmm.
They'll hand you a blank character sheet and a couple books, and they'll tell you to get to work. We don't do that at our games. At our games, we have pre-generated characters for that adventure. You can walk right in. You can pick up a bag of dice. You can choose your character. We usually have them sorted out by classes, and then you find your DM. You can head right to your table. Um, if you're newer, you can usually let someone know. And that DM is going to be kind of coaching you and letting you know what's going on right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Um, our DMs are pretty much all of the same mind as me. We love new players. We love teaching the game. And because we know those new players are going to bring new ideas to the table and are going to enhance our games, because that's what this really is it's a collaboration.
I
Um,
I think
every person, I'm so sorry.
the biggest no, it's okay. The biggest challenge I think for people getting into D&D is because sometimes they just don't it can be overwhelming at first, and
Absolutely.
it's nice to hear that you guys are helping people. They're getting that experience, I think, that could bring them into D&D overall, and I think that's wonderful.
And that's been one of the coolest parts is we have such a diverse player base. We have couple 2 months ago, I ran a table completely full of teenagers. But we have, everything like, people my age, 30-year-olds, critical role fans, people that, you kind of the classic people you expect, and then older people as well. Up to we had a 60-year-old man come and play with us. He was
Oh,
playing with
that's
his
wonderful.
daughter, and it was awesome.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's that's sweet, and I'm sure there's people that never even thought about, possibly didn't even know anything about D&D, but saw it happening. It's like, hey, how do I sign up? Like this happening at Seventh Tap. I like going to Seventh Tap. Let's sign up for it.
Yeah, why not? Why not sit down, have some beers, and roll some dice?
Yeah, right. Okay, so curious, how many dungeon masters do you have in your group?
So currently we have 10, and they are really the backbone of this whole thing. They help me with campaign planning. They help me with session planning. Whenever I kind of have a crazy idea that I don't know how to make happen, I take it to them.
Nice.
Um, they are exceptional and multi-talented too. Many of them. Michael Weileter is in the band Star Chamber. You've got
Oh,
Nicholas Griffith. He's a local photographer.
nice.
Um, Ari, who works with us, he's one of our admins. He does. He plays our roaming NPCs, which is another fun element. We'll have people dressed up actually playing NPCs, going and interacting with different
Oh,
tables.
that sounds fun.
Yeah, and he's really kind of taken the lead on that. He's amazing. And he also has a 3D printer and helps 3D print props for us and stuff too.
That's awesome.
Like last game, we had a challenge where the players were kind of being initiated by the Lamplighters Guild, and so they had to jump from like the heights of Sharn. It's this vertical city, the city of towers, and they were all handed Featherfall tokens. And the last one to activate their Featherfall token lost the
Oh.
competition. But the cool thing was when we announced that we were actually able, because of him, able to give out little Featherfall tokens.
Oh, that's
And little things like that, we're always trying to kind of enhance the tactileness of it, what every DM's trying to do at their table, really.
That's awesome. And I imagine players are welcome to dress up as fantasy characters when they come in too. That I'm sure that would be fun.
Yes, we totally welcome that. We're even trying to figure out a way to kind of like reward that. In August, we actually have one coming up. We're going to have a cosplay contest. And
Oh,
so that's going to be like, it doesn't have to be fantasy. It's really just going to be whatever the best cosplay is. But we're
yeah.
encouraging, like, get your best Ren Fair gear out. Like,
That's awesome. So what if someone has a character already like they want to start with? Are you guys welcome to people have bringing their own character as long as you guys approve it?
yes. So we knew, people would have all kinds of builds and concepts,
The
they
home
wanted to
brews
move
are
into this.
crazy.
Absolutely, that's part of the fun of this, especially, once you get the rules down and stuff, that's where you start really having fun. And so we do allow people to bring characters as long as they're on the D&D Beyond app.
Yeah.
We just have a DM look it over, make sure everything's good to go, and they're set from there.
All right, that's awesome. If especially for them experienced players, I know how they can be. They just want their
Absolutely.
character the way they want it. So if anyone wanted to participate, how do they follow you and learn about these events?
Yeah, so you can find us on Facebook, the Smokey Crow, or on the Facebook page of Seven Tap Brewery in Shreveport. Either of those places, that's where we announce the monthly events.
Okay.
Um, and even as we kind of expand and continue adding to this, that's where you'll find other events too.
Awesome. So is there anything else you'd like to say to our viewers?
Um, I'd say give it a try. Whether you're curious about D&D, looking for a fun night out, or just want to meet new people, we have a really good time. Um, there's no, you don't have to feel intimidated. You don't have to feel like you're going to be overwhelmed. We're just a bunch of nerds, looking to have a good time.
Yeah, and having a good role play and creative fun, I feel.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much for talking to me, Tyler. It's been great. And if you guys are doing that when you do that cosplay contest, maybe we could talk again. I wouldn't mind, seeing who won, and you could share
Yeah,
your pictures with us
that would be awesome.
of the winners and everything.
I would
Okay,
love that.
that would be awesome. Thank you so much, and we'll talk again.
Cool. You have a great day.
You too. All right, so that was my interview with Tyler Crow and the leader of the Smokey Crow, professional dungeon master for D&D. And don't forget to check out his event, Dungeons and Drafts, especially if you've always wanted to play D&D but never had a group, or you're having a hard time finding a group generally in the area. I can suggest two places, either with Tyler the Crow or Gamers XP. They also hold big D&D events as well, so they're worth checking out as well. Maybe not both, why not? You know, especially if you enjoy the game that much, and there's a pretty large community for it. Anyways, if you want to check out more ArkLaTex Artistry and see more of my interviews, I hold weekly interviews at noon, usually with artists or art organizations or any creative events I'm interested in. You can check them out. Let's bring you over one more time so you can see. All right, so you can go and find my stuff in two places on KSLA's site. You can find me if you go under the community tab right here, and you go to ArkLaTex Artistry. I'm like literally the first tab under community, and here in this section you can find anything art related, art events coming up, art gallery shows coming up, anything I feel is creative. It doesn't matter if it's film, food art, fashion, painting, sculpture, these cons with the actors, you know, anything like that. It also features on artists. I do long form mini documentaries on artists locally, and you can find them here as well and learn about some of our local talents here in the ArkLaTex. You can also find me under podcasts. If you go here and you go straight down, I'm right here. So this will bring you to all the videos. This is just the videos, not the article write-ups. I write them, but I also just publish the videos, and we get them in a separate area if you want to watch them separately and you're not interested in all the reading. Well, so there's all that. You can find us on Roku, Apple TV app, or KSLA Now app. You can find all of our stuff there. And I look forward to seeing you guys next Saturday, always Saturday at noon. If you have any ideas about an artist you would like to cover, or you know of an art event that you know, have going on or coming up, make sure it's ahead of time, you know, so that I can squeeze you in and we can at least talk, you know, have an interview and talk about your events. You can reach me at Brittney, Brittney, period, Hazelton, Hazelton at KSLA.com. Give me an email and let me know, you know, hey, I have this event, I'd like to talk to you about it, or hey, I'm an artist and I want you to come see my art and do a little mini documentary for me. I try to do one every month. So let me know and I can put you on my list of people to contact. So thank you so much again. You guys take care. Your support means everything. And I love you guys.